The 1998 film I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, it is by far one of the worst sequels when it comes to a slasher film. And to make it worse, the story don't make a whole lot of sense. Well, this is a film that never needed to be made. So the story of this takes place 1 year after the events of the first movie. Julie's in college, Ray is still working on a fisher boat, and so Julie and her new roommate Carla, they both went a trip to Brazil, and so they bring two people with them, Will and Tyrell, and once all four of them get there, chaos happens. Seriously, rewatching this movie for the first time in so many years, I was like, there's a reason I stayed away from this movie. It's the mere fact that the story is atrocious, and this is a film I really didn't care too much about, and nothing really happens till past the 30-minute mark. And speaking of which, I wanted to turn it off honestly even before that 30-minute mark. And to make matters worse, the horrible acting, the story at large, the boring characters. This movie suffers too much from bad repetition. And what I mean by that, it does the exact same things from the first film, only worse. The characters are by far some of the worst I've seen in a horror movie. And that is one of the worst things a movie can make you do, not care if the characters live or die. Seriously, these characters, they're one dimension, and they did not interest me at all. And this is without question one of the worst movies from 1998. At the end of the day though, this is a film I clearly did not care about, and I also care to never look at it ever again. Now, I had talked about how bad the acting was, but let's talk about the characters. Julie, once again, she is insufferable. She's screaming all over the place once again. And nothing against Jennifer Love Hewitt, but her acting in this is atrocious, just like the first movie. I mean, it doesn't help when, her character doesn't get any improvement compared to the first movie. And speaking of which, there are other characters I couldn't stand, such as Carla, played by the R&B singer Brandy. Now, don't get me wrong, Brandy, she has some good music over the years, but she's a horrible actress. Like, she really doesn't add anything new here, and her acting is just vanilla. And there was another character I really couldn't stand. It was Tyrell, played by Mekhi Phifer. Now, Mekhi Phifer actually is a good actor. It's just in this one, he's not given a whole lot to do. I mean, he tries to make it work, but when it comes down to it, Tyrell was a boring character. And the biggest character that I hated was Titus. Seriously, Jack Black playing this white Jamaican, it was very annoying. I really couldn't stand his character. And just to make it worse, he's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And I was like, "Oh, this is by far one of the worst slasher movies I've seen." But I will say, despite all the negatives this film has, there are some positive. Muse Watson returns to play the fisherman. He was menacing once again. Some of the kills in the movie were brutal. And I will say the ending, it was somewhat entertaining, but that doesn't excuse the poor acting, the horrible characters, or a mere fact nothing really happens until like the half-hour mark. Seriously, if you've never seen this movie, I advise to please skip it because this is like a bore fest. This movie had no business existing in the first place. And quite frankly, it's one of the forgotten movies of the late 1990s. I'm giving this film a 3 out of 10. Your movie is atrocious when one of the actors in this film, Freddie Prinze Jr., says he's never seen it due to the negative reception. And speaking of the actor, his character Ray was largely reduced in this sequel, which is odd considering how much of a big role he played in the first film. This film is a dumpster fire, it is a waste of time, and quite frankly, it is very boring as you have uninteresting characters and a plot that's all over the damn place. Nonetheless though, there are far better slasher movies out there, and this one right here, it just could have been so much better than what it turned out to be. And that is my review of the film, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Alright, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie. Okay, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.